You're listening to the Sonic Drive Show with Jakx and Vess. This is Up FM 107.5.
Welcome back to the show. What I want you guys to do out there, text in 8736. We've got the State of Mind boys here in the studio right now. It's Pat and Stu.
Yo.
How you doing?
You might want to come a bit closer.
How you doing now?
He's a bit microphone shy, so like, I'll talk to you back here.
There we go.
But get your text in 8736. List up on the text machine all your favourite State of Mind tunes. And we just know while we're talking, maybe they'll make a quick comment like, "Oh, that's a bootleg. How do you know about that?" So get them in 8736. So we got these guys here. Last time we talked to you, we were talking about their magnificent send-off, falling out of a plane, landing in a stadium, splattering all over the crowd. It was.
Right, yep, that was. I guess if you're going to go out, that's.
I know nothing about this.
I think the question was, what was the question? How do we get to that answer?
It was. Well, we could make a tribute to the question because no one actually knows. It was just so awesome. No one can remember the question.
It was something. If you were going to die, was that right? You had to go out with a bang or something.
I think it was something along the lines of, if you were flying over New Zealand in a plane and someone randomly threw you out.
Oh, where would you want to land?
What tune would you listen to on the way down?
I think it was where you want to land as well.
I know, and then after that you were like, do I need a parachute? I was like,
what would you want? It's like, a parachute. Probably the first thing. Or some sort of rope to get back to the plane.
Epic. Hold on, let me see. This mic here is all good. Right, so we're rolling it out now. You guys have a new album on its way out. You got a whole release party planned. Everything's going really well. Tell us a little bit about it. Or a lot, you can choose.
Well, the new album's out already.
Oh, it's already out. Yeah, sorry.
It came out on
Turn a phrase.
Thankfully, we're beating Annabelle Faye in the charts at the moment.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
Pats on the back. What's going on with that? Well, we've done the album.
Came out on Monday.
It's called Nil By Ear. It's called Nil By Ear for the people that don't know, maybe. 12 tracks. Features a bunch of pretty sweet collaborations.
Yeah, we've got some guests on there like PNC, Thomas Oliver, MC Woody, P.Digsss, people like that.
Yeah. That P.Digsss tune is massive. I've heard so many people just they're totally like, Vega man, it's huge.
Sick.
Gotta rock it out.
That's the opening track on the new record.
Sick. Well, anyone who loves that tune, go down and get it right now. Can you get it on any digital outlets? I don't buy CDs anymore.
No, it's all no one does apparently. But it's on iTunes or Beatport or Amplifier. Basically anywhere you go really to buy music, I suppose.
Except Beatport.
Well, we'll be on Beatport, but Beatport is our international distributor, so that'll be out on there in 2 weeks.
They always say they're a little bit longer, eh?
Yeah, that's ST Holdings for you.
Yeah. Well, other side of the world, and that's also our vinyl manufacturer, so that's coming out through them as a like a shrink wrap EP bundle where you get a copy of the disc and a vinyl sort of in one shrink wrap, so that's why it's a couple of weeks later.
Oh, mean, that's real good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be waiting for that one.
Yeah, well, it's actually kind of surprisingly, it's pretty cheap as well. It's worked out to be a pretty good value package. By the time it gets over here with the shipping and shit, it'll probably be a bit more expensive, but hopefully that sells a few units overseas.
Sweet as, yeah. A few units.
A few units.
Yeah. To there,
one or two.
Here, yeah.
All we have were 2 units.
Kiwis, eh? So, but I mean, when it comes to albums, there's a lot of time, a lot of dedication goes into it. It's a bit of a journey, a bit of a voyage, and I always like to ask, because the album making process encapsulates a portion of time, and you guys are musicians' lives. Mm-hmm. What are some crazy cool events that could be summarized as happening during making the album, or anything that the tunes are related to that you guys particularly had strong in your minds while you were sitting in the studio or fishing out those samples or telling P.Digsss to get it right?
Some pretty funny names, like Parasomnia came from that was basically, it's like a type of sleepwalking really, and that came
is that sleepwalking with a kite?
No, this is like sleepwalking in the hotel in your boxes, waking up in the hallway, kind of sleepwalking. And that's some of the album titles, some of the track titles have kind of stories like that for us.
Yeah.
There's some.
Which one of you is the sleepwalker?
Actually, we're both guilty of doing that, eh? I've woken up in an elevator in Christchurch in my underpants. And
were you going up or down?
I don't know, so I was lying on the floor and some old geezer was like poking me with his foot. Then the embarrassing thing is I'd locked myself out of my room, so I had to go strutting through reception in my boxes and ask for a key. Everyone was having their breakfast downstairs. That was pretty shameful.
I also locked myself out of my room in my boxer shorts and had to knock on his hotel room door to call reception to bring up a key. So yeah, we've both done it.
You weren't man enough to go down and ask yourself.
No.
Well, I could have done that, but I just didn't actually think about doing that. It was the obvious thing. I was just like, no.
I've learned from his experience that maybe you should like knock on the other person's door first before you go to reception.
Yeah.
Little technique.
Well, I mean, you can always stop into the breakfast bar on your way past. Yeah,
well, you
it's the perks.
did, didn't you?
I think so, yeah. We've also been guilty of stealing a bowl of grapefruit from a hotel buffet in France, yeah, and then they tried to charge us €50 for a bowl of grapefruit.
For the bowl, or?
Yep.
That's one expensive bowl.
It was. We kicked up we had a bit of an argument about it in the morning.
This bowl's clearly not worth €50. Honestly, what kind of cheap charade is this?
French pricing.
So in the studio, you guys are rolling it out. Your studio must be pretty well set up now, pretty established. You're rolling through the albums, you're getting the tunes out, you're releasing the remixes. We've had a few texts in here. Sun King's come in a few times. That's a big one. What's the studio like? Is there anything special in the studio? You know, do you particularly love one of your pieces of hardware, or do you have like the best Rode microphone out and no one else can have it? Or
we've collected up a fair bit of kit over the last few years. I guess if there's any one favourite thing, we've got a really nice API compressor, which is pretty cool. And the bass traps.
The monitors as well.
The monitors, yeah. We've got nice sets of monitors, sort of 3 sets, weirdly enough, that we flick between. And we imported over these custom-built bass traps from America. And they made the studio sound awesome. So once we got those, the way we could hear everything improved so much, and our tunes just sounded a hell of a lot better. So, yeah.
Was that, by any chance, was that around the time of Real McCoy?
Oh, no way.
It's just like recently,
pretty much about maybe a year ago, midway through producing this album. That's when we felt like we started to get it kind of together.
That's tops, really. It is really cool. Actually, we had CERN in here a couple of weeks back, and I was like, what's your favourite thing? And he was like, my monitors are so amazing. And then he finished it up with, so if you want to buy monitors, I was like, clearly they're not that amazing. You can't have his. So he was like, I don't know, just speakers, they're awesome. I guess
they're a pretty important part, you know. So you can't really hear what you're doing without some good speakers. I mean, you could try and make it on a home stereo, but it's probably not going to help, to be fair.
No, that's really good. Actually, following the old State of Mind, listening to it all roll out, actually I think the first tune that I ever tried to replicate while I was producing was Mind Slicer.
Oh yeah.
And Reason. I remember I have vivid memories of sitting there going, yes, this sounds like Mind Slicer. If I looked at it now, it'd be like nowhere near.
I'll let you in on a secret. For Mind Slicer, we just distorted everything because we didn't know what we're doing. You can't copy that.
Yeah, just turn it up loud and compress it till it just had
no more sound left.
Yeah. That was what
it's like squeezing toothpaste out of a tube.
High Contrast asked me back then. He's like, how do you guys make your tunes so loud? And I was like, we just turn them up. And there was just like this awkward silence. It's like, what? That's it? That's the trick? I was like, that's the trick?
This is the guy that High Contrast starts with his melodies, and he gets this all good and feel and close and intimate with his melodies, and he gets the beats fit in real nice. So you guys are just like, amp it up, man. Yeah.
That's a bit of a weird one.
Something I've wanted to have you guys up about, actually, now I've got you here in the studio, you're trapped. The melody line for Mind Slicer and Sun King is relatively similar.
They're even in the same key.
They are in the same key. What in the studio, obviously ideas roll around your head, and with all producers you find that they have a whole album or a whole set or a whole EP, they're just sort of like mix and matching the same kind of ideas. I'm not sure if they don't arrive on a great idea or if they just think of 2 variations and they're like, hell.
Those two, Sun King and Mind Slicer, were both written at pretty much the same time before we signed any of that stuff. So it wasn't like we'd release Sun King and then we're like, fuck it, that was a good tune, let's just copy it, which
Make it a little bit lighter.
Yeah, all we
Some
did
sugar
was
on
we
top.
basically just made the two tunes at very similar times, and that was just the tip that we were on at the time, and then they just got signed and released separately. That's how that happened.
Awesome. And through your representation of New Zealand, rolling around, you know, you've been all around the world, everything's really good. Surely something ridiculously crazy. I love the way that it's not crazy or a little bit weird. It's just got to be amazingly, exclusively, solidly crazy.
That has happened to us on tour
Yeah, that's happened to you on tour.
in New Zealand.
Tell us anywhere in the world. I always hear crazy stories from Russia and Amsterdam and stuff like that, where, you know, people clear big circles on the floor and do like the Chicken Man in circles and stuff. And
I've got a goodie. We had a 2,000 litre fish tank explode whilst we were playing. This tidal wave of water sweeps through the dance floor. We couldn't really see the water. We could just see something was going on, and everyone started fleeing.
The chlorine.
We could smell all this. It was like a bubble wall thing, you know, with lights and water and bubbles.
were there
and
fish
shit.
in there? Or,
No, there were no fish.
I
It
was
was
thinking
just a
chlorine
big
and fish tank.
fish tank. Yeah. And the chlorine started like burning people's eyes, chlorine gas, like bleaching their clothes, and people were like literally fleeing the club, and we were like, whoa, we're clearing the dance floor here big time. This isn't going well at all. And that was pretty strange. That shut the whole party down, I think, for like an
man.
hour or something.
Well,
yeah.
So now you guys can claim that your tunes smash like
well,
water
There's
tanks.
some like serious high-pitched stuff that was like doing the classic wine glass window kind of breaking sort of thing.
So you're not allowed to have a pool party.
No.
Really.
Well, not a glass pool party.
Sweet as. Well, thanks heaps for coming into the studio. We've been rolling it out. You guys have got the release party for the album coming up.
We do.
Let us in, because we want to know what you guys are going to play. Is there anything special lined up? Is someone going to rip off their shirt, land in their boxes, ask for a key card?
Well, we're doing the live thing, not the DJ thing.
So it's a massive live set. What's the setup in your live set?
Well, I don't really want to give too much away, but we've sort of
secret.
It is. Well, it's not. I mean, it's not really a secret, but we did spend ages trying to sort of design the way we were going to do this. We wanted to be, kind of come up with our own way of doing it. Basically, we even had our own mixing desk built because we couldn't find anything that did the job we wanted, so we went out and started building shit as well, which was kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, it's different to the DJ thing because we practically play only our own tracks. So if you're a State of Mind fan, then it's heaven. If you don't like State of Mind, probably don't go.
Marketing guys here.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the truth. The State of Mind live is we perform. It's like a live. You know, you expect we play a few other people's tunes, like or our remixes of other people's tunes, kind of get incorporated in there. Bit of stuff gets teased, but really, at the end of the day, it is us presenting ourselves in a live way. Yeah.
And something interesting about live performance is a lot of people they create a direct comparison between bands performing and electronic acts performing live.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, what roles do you take on in the live setup?
Well, we sort of, we kind of take it on like a band, but not really. We've always sort of we didn't want to turn kind of a rock band, you know. We still want to kind of keep it on like a Chemical Brothers sort of electronic performance, but just not a DJ set, basically. So I'm kind of in control of like the sort of the rhythm section. Like I'm doing all the drums and basses, like subs and mids for the day, and he's kind of taking care of like the leads, vocals, and other sort of knick-knack stuff here and there. And that's how we kind of run it. We sort of treat it like a band, but you know, not trying to be a rock band. We haven't got live drums or anything like that.
Yeah.
We do take our own lighting and stuff as well. It's unusual.
You take your own lighting on the gig.
Well, we have our own lighting guy who works synchronized with us in the performance, so everything's kind of like...
So it's sort of like a dead mouse sub-focus sort of lighting rig where everything's pre-planned and carries around with you on tour.
I don't know anything about their lighting rig. It's probably more like Hex Static or Cold Cutter, if you remember those guys. He's free to do what he wants. He's got his own thing. The only thing is it's all MIDI timecode synced, so we're all in sync, but he can do whatever he likes any time, and he's got his own computers and stuff, so it's not... We just don't turn up and play the same set, because if it was pre-rehearsed, that's not live, that's called playing a CD. You know?
So it's a more three-dimensional version of the CD.
Exactly. I mean, we just like to think of it as the visuals is just part of the show, and he works with what we're doing and is kind of intuitively following what we're up to. But we've played loads of shows together, so he knows what we do.
it's wicked to hear that you guys have gone all out with this one. It should be massive. I'll be front row center, and then I'll be told that I'm too tall.
We got PNC. PNC's coming down to perform. A couple of guys off the album are actually going to come and sing the tracks live. PNC will be there. Thomas Oliver.
Yeah.
Woody obviously will be there. So.
By the way, he's obviously going to be there because MC Woody is everywhere all at once.
Pretty much. He's the man about town.
he's real good on it. Now that's really, really good to hear. And something that I want to know, produce a little bit of hype for us. Do you guys have any special VIP tunes? I know I'm not allowed to give. They're glaring at me. They're like, don't give too much away. I don't actually know. That's what I'm asking. I have to feed the information from you. Yeah, on the night, do you have any VIP tunes that?
It's because it's the live thing, and we're able to kind of ad-lib on the spot. Most of it will be kind of VIP weird.
So if I was in the crowd and I was to hear like a big hook coming in, what would it be, and would I know to go absolutely mental at that point? Do you guys just think we're just gonna send this one through the roof?
It's hard to explain. We still structure it, we still try and structure it in a logical way, and still try and make it it's the same sort of impact of a DJ set. So you'll still hear ups and downs, and you'll kind of get when the drops are coming and stuff like that. It's not totally random.
There's no 8 minute sitar solos or anything else.
Well, there might be, but
it's just Pat's jamming out on the drum machine for ages and ages.
Bongo solo for 8 minutes.
What is it, the disclaimer? If you like State of Mind, only turn up.
Yeah.
The 8 minute bongo solos.
Come and catch the 8 minute bongo solo. It's heat.
Wicked. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio. You brought Nil By Ear with you. We might jam out a few more of the tunes while we're here. Give everyone a chance to skip out and go pick that up, or jump online and grab that.
Cool, man. Vega? Want to hear Vega now, or?
Oh, you can
you guys can have it.
He just wants to take over the radio show. That's what he wants. That's all good. Sweet.
It's the only thing with no swearing, you see.
No, very, very good. But so yeah, go out, pick up the album. We got Pat, Stu, thanks heaps for coming in.
Thanks so much.
Hopefully everyone's hyped up. Should be real good. All right, we'll roll that out. Have a good one. This is a Sonic Drive Tuesday.